Did you know having consistent tempo in your golf swing is one of the determining factors on how consistent you strike the golf ball? Do you work on tempo? Today I'm going to show you how. Let's get to work. In this video, I'm going to go over 4 different concepts and drills that just may help you out at getting your tempo more consistent. We're going to start out by defining what tempo is. But before we do that, my name is TJ Valentine. I'm a 25-year PGA teaching professional. If you want to learn a little bit more about me, check out the description below. But I want to be your coach. I want to be your guide to getting you better at this amazing game. So subscribe if you want to learn a little bit more about this game. I'm going to share stories. I'm going to share my knowledge with you and help you get a little bit better. But what is tempo? Let's define it. So what is tempo in golf? Well, it's a ratio. It's a measurement of your backswing relative to your downswing time. So how long does it take for you to go from address position to the top of your swing, and then from the top of your swing to impact? The best players in the world and good amateur players that have good tempo typically are right around the 3-to-1 ratio. So it takes 3 times longer to complete their backswing relative to impact. Simple math, if it took 3 seconds to make a backswing, it's going to take 1 second to get from the top of the swing to impact. Now that would be a very slow swing, but tempo is not just one size fits all. There are players with fast tempo. There are players with slower tempo. But ultimately, the best players that organize themselves the best, it is right around a 3-to-1 ratio. So let's get you better at this. Do you know what your tempo is? Do you have anything to measure it? Today, we're going to use Hack Motion to measure our tempo, but there are other tools out there. Blast Motion, DeWiz, there's all sorts of tools out there nowadays that you can buy to use to measure your tempo. But just like everything else, what you can measure, you can get better. And if you're not measuring this stuff, you're probably not going to get it better. So these 4 concepts and drills are things that you can do at home in some way, shape, or form. I highly encourage you, work on this stuff away from the golf course. You have the opportunity every day of your life to sneak away for 2 minutes, for 1 minute, for 30 seconds to work on certain things. This is definitely something that you can work on, and I encourage you to work on this stuff. So let's get into drill and concept number 1, but make sure you stick around to the end because the 4th one could be the most important one and possibly the one that gets you over the edge in terms of really developing your tempo. So the first drill I'm going to go over is what I call the 1, 2, 3 cadence drill. It is a number counting drill as you take the club back and as you transition back down. Simply put, you're going to get into your address position. When you say 1, that's when the club goes back. 1. When you get to the top of your swing, you're going to say 2. 1, 2. And you guessed it, transition is 3. 1, 2, 3. And it looks something like this. And I would encourage you to count out loud, especially at first. It's going to go 1, 2, 3. And I promise you, the more you do this, your brain and your body, it's kind of like rubbing the belly and tapping the head at first, but the brain and body are going to work together, and you will find your cadence and the rhythm over all of your swing to really be very, very repeatable. But you have to get that cadence down. 1, 2, 3. Some people like to use 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the way down. If you feel like you're still getting a little bit too quick at 3, count to 4. So that will look something like this. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, it's just going to develop a pattern. It's going to develop a sequence, a better ratio backswing to downswing. And like I said before, Really the only way to know that you're doing a good job is to measure it. So find a tool to help you measure this, or go to your coach and ask to measure your tempo. What you can measure, you can get better. Let's get on to number 2. So drill number 2 does involve a prop that you have to get. This is by far my favorite training aid that you can get. It serves many purposes overall, tempo being one of my absolute favorite use cases for it. It's called the lag shot. If you are interested, I'm gonna put a link down below so you can check it out. But basically what this club is, it's a little bit on the heavier side and it's very, very flexible. If you get quick in your transition, if you are out of sync in the backswing, if your backswing is too quick relative to your downswing, vice versa, all over the map, you're not gonna be able to hit a golf ball from here. So with this tool, you have to swing in, for the most part, perfect tempo. In order to strike the ball solid with this, if your tempo is a little bit out of whack, if you're 4-1, if you're 2-1, and not that optimal 3-1, that club head is not gonna match back up at impact, and you are going to hit the ball all over the place. So you will feel, because of the weight of the head, you will feel the flex in transition. So when I get to the top, you can actually see the shaft flex. Now, in order for you to transition with good tempo, the shaft has to unflex before you transition down. If you transition down too early, there is no chance you're gonna hit this golf ball solid at all. So if I transition down too early, that ball went so far to the right, my tempo was 2.1 to 1, not my normal 2.9, 3.0. Now, if I do have better tempo and I wait for that club at the top to flex and kick, I will hit a much, much better golf shot with this. This is not easy to hit, but I promise you, it gives you that instant feedback right away if you do not transition in proper tempo for your swing. Go check it out. On to number 3. So let's talk about number 3. Again, this is something that you can do at home. You do not need to be on a range, and this involves closing your eyes and swinging. Now, why does closing the eyes help your tempo? Well, it takes away all the visual distractions, and the brain and the body can really just simply focus on your tempo. It also helps with your balance overall as well. Those guys work hand in hand. Simply put, you're gonna get into a setup, balanced setup, you're gonna close your eyes, and you're gonna work on feeling good tempo, feeling good rhythm. 3-1 on that one. Feeling good tempo, feeling good rhythm. With your eyes closed, all of your other senses kind of settle, and the sense of feel heightens, because you can't see. Your sense of sight is not there anymore. So all of those other senses kind of heighten, and you can really focus on the sense of feel. So as you get to the top again, you're almost gonna feel the pause at the top of your swing when you do that. It doesn't mean you're actually stopping the swing, but it most definitely will feel like that. That's what you wanna feel. So close your eyes, make some swings, feel that rhythm, feel that tempo. Be the ball, Danny. Be the ball. Be the ball, Danny. On to number 4. So the 4th drill, and one that all you need is a rope. How can this rope help your tempo? Well, it's actually similar to the lag shot club, because there is a lot of lag and whip in a rope. And essentially what you're gonna do is you're gonna get into a setup with the rope, you're gonna get a little momentum going, you're gonna go to the top of your swing. Now, when you go to the top of the swing, you wanna wait for the rope to hit your back. And then from there, you'll swing down. So it's gonna look something like this. So that will give your brain time to fully get to the top of your swing before jumping down. If I do that too early, you can just see the rope never has a chance to get fully to the top. I am getting quick when I do that, and that's a big fault that a lot of players have. They get too quick in transition. They transition too early. The body doesn't have time to synchronize and organize itself. So this is an excellent drill. Like I said, do this at home. These are the drills that are going to ultimately get you better overall. Why? Because you probably just don't focus on this. Now you have a plan to focus on this. Go do these drills, do them at home, do them on the range, get your tempo better. Check out this video up here. Whatever this video is, it'll get you better too. I'll see you soon.